Have you ever tried to like convince a friend to watch a movie, they think they won't like?
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe downplay the sci-fi stuff or
Right,
really
right.
emphasize the romantic elements or
Yeah, yeah.
Today we're going to deep dive into the idea of concealing intentions.
Okay.
And our source material is some excerpts from a text that really argues for the power of keeping people guessing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I thought it was kind of an interesting take
Yeah.
because it's not something we often talk about, but we
Okay.
kind of all do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what's fascinating to me about this is it's not just some like Machiavellian tactic, like some evil genius strategy.
Right.
This actually echoes some survival strategies that we find in nature.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Think about, a predator ambushing its prey,
Oh, yeah.
or you see this a lot in nature, like harmless animals mimicking dangerous ones,
Right.
to kind of like
To protect themselves.
yeah, to survive,
Yeah.
basically. Deception in this context, I think, is less about malice and more about like tipping the scales of survival.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the source material uses this phrase, guiding them down the wrong path.
Oh, wow.
And it does sound a little manipulative, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's almost like creating a smokescreen, you know?
It's interesting you mentioned smoke screens
Yeah.
because that's one way to think about concealed intentions.
Right.
Sometimes it is about like outright misinformation.
Yeah.
Other times it's about distraction.
Okay.
And it's not always malicious.
Right.
Let's take, for example, surprise parties.
Oh, yeah.
The goal is to create joy, right?
Yeah.
But it relies on withholding information,
Right.
even if ultimately it's for like a positive outcome.
That's true. Yeah. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Like I might tell my friend I'm just meeting them for coffee or whatever when
Yeah.
really I'm taking them to their surprise party.
Yeah, exactly.
So the intention is hidden, but the outcome is hopefully good.
Right.
So it makes me wonder, is there a way to kind of classify different levels of concealed intentions?
Absolutely. Think of it as like a spectrum.
Okay.
On one end, we have, those white lies, like,
Yeah.
does this make me look fat?
Exactly.
Those kinds of things.
Right.
In the middle ground, we have things like, strategic omissions and negotiations,
Like,
where you might hold back certain information to secure a better deal for yourself.
interesting.
And then on the far end of the spectrum, we have, scenarios where deception is used for outright harmful purposes.
Right, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So where does something like a poker game fall on this spectrum?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because you're not outright lying, but you are trying to mislead
Right.
your opponents about the cards you have.
Exactly.
So is that somewhere in the middle?
I think that's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Games are interesting because there's like an understood agreement that deception is part of the game.
They're part of the fun.
Right.
Yeah.
No one is really being harmed, and it actually kind of adds to the enjoyment.
Right.
But it does highlight how like context is
Yeah.
really key when we're evaluating
Oh, yeah.
concealed intentions.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So if concealing intentions can be both beneficial and harmful,
Mm.
how do we as listeners
Right.
navigate this?
Yeah.
I mean, how can we tell when someone's being strategic versus when they're being manipulative?
Ooh, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It requires, a bit of critical thinking and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay.
I always say pay attention to patterns in behavior.
Right.
Consider the potential motivations.
Yeah.
And always trust your gut instinct.
Right.
If something feels off, it probably is.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's like if someone consistently tries to guide you down a specific path
Mm-hmm.
without giving you the full picture,
Right.
that might be a red flag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, knowledge is power. By understanding this concept, you're already better equipped
Right.
to navigate those situations where you might encounter it.
So what does this all mean for us?
Well,
I guess it's about being aware that concealed intentions are everywhere.
they are.
Sometimes they're harmless, sometimes they're not.
Right.
And it's up to us to figure out.
Absolutely. That's what you.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
Oh, well, thank you.
And as you move through the world, consider this.
Okay.
How might understanding this concept empower you to make more informed decisions? Not just about how you interact with others, but also about how you choose to present your own intentions.
That's deep stuff. Yeah. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.